All right. What is going on, everybody? We are 2 minutes getting ready to start our show. Ready for the big show. We're going to have our panel on today for head to head, and we will be talking about a couple of things. NFL has just canceled a coach. Well, he canceled himself, actually. But is there more to come into this story of the NFL's investigation into the Washington football team and the fact that John Gruden of the Las Vegas Raiders was actually part of collateral damage? There's more. We know there's more. Also, I don't know if anybody has watched the Dave Chappelle special, but it's gained a lot of controversy because of some comments that Dave made as far as the LGBTQ community, and a lot of folks asking for Netflix to take his special off of Netflix platform, wanting to basically cancel Dave Chappelle. I've got my thoughts about it. I actually watched the special last night and just wanted to really see what some of the fuss was about. You know, how far are we going to really go with cancel culture? Are we going to cancel comedians? You know, comedians are supposed to be provocative and controversial. And as long as I can remember, from Red Fox to Eddie Murphy to Paul Mooney to Robin Williams to Sam Kinison to George Carlin, would they be able to survive in our climate today, because we're always so ready to just cancel comedians? You know, and there is going to be a difference when we talk about the difference between our comedians and folks in position of authorities and things like that. Comedians, you expect certain things from them that maybe would not be kosher in a corporate environment. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do our 5-minute countdown just to get everybody ready, and then we'll be back right after this.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it,
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it, and it's a ticket.
Damn! Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he, and I'm joined by my panel today. Oh my goodness. If you are tuning in, thank you. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook Live, as well as YouTube Live. And as always, we appear on our Roku network. If you don't have Roku, or you haven't added Empower onto your Roku channel, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. But please add us. Make sure that you keep up with us and add us on all of our other social media as well. We're going to jump right into it because we got a good show today. We have our panel here, Mr. CJ Jones. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. Welcome. Mr. Michael Berry, what's going on, sir?
No, I was just trying to catch my breath. Pinto made me take him for a run. So just getting back.
That's a big dog, boy. I tell you.
Those are muscles.
Yeah, I see. And man, do our eyes deceive us? I think we are joined by a special guest. It's an honor. If I'd known, I would have probably wore a different shirt. We have in the franchise, Mr. Jermaine, the main event Parker. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I look fine. I look good. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. He's back. He's back from dad duties. He's actually been able to join us, and glad to have you, sir. Glad to have you. If you would like to join the conversation, if you're watching this, please feel free. We're going to talk about some things. We'd love to hear your comments. Use our comment box. Please let us know what you think. If you have a question, please submit that as well. Again, it's live. If you want to come on, if you ever want to be a panelist, please reach out to me at theparkermedia@gmail.com, and we can make that happen. You don't have to necessarily agree with me, but just understand that I'm always right. I'm just kidding. If you would like to advertise on Empower, whether it's our live show or on the actual TV network, please let us know. If you would like to put up any kind of commercial, we can definitely do that on our live streams. And I'm going to give you an example of that right now. Our friends at Plumbers, Electricians, and Beyond is a family-based company in the DMV, and they are looking for more technicians to join their team. And this is their ad, and we'll be back on the other side to start the show. Here we are. Our friends from Electricians.
I love that trailer, man. That is not a commercial. I love that trailer, bro.
Yes. Have you guys been out? I was out the other day, and I thought I was in the country. I was in Cabarrus County, I believe, here in North Carolina, on some back road, and I thought my eyes were deceiving me. I'd never really paid attention to seeing this before, but I could have sworn I passed a Black American flag, and I'd never seen that before. And no sooner than I'm sitting there thinking about it, you know, I'm watching, I think it was Young Turks, and they were talking about the Black American flag. Had you guys ever seen this thing before?
Well, actually, I have a Black American flag in front of my house.
Oh, do
you? Do?
Yes, I do. Red, black, and green. Yep.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry, it's black and green.
Do you have the multicolor or do you have the black and white?
Yeah, Mike. What? Is it the straight black American flag or it's black and green?
It's red, black, and green.
Yeah, that's actually nice.
Yeah, that I've heard of. Yeah, and I see a picture of that one. That's the Black American flag. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay. There's another one that is, and I wish I had downloaded the picture of it. It's just straight black and white.
Right.
And apparently this is something that
I was asking.
This was something that actually appeared during the Civil War. And apparently a lot more people are starting to fly it, and it's actually supposed to symbolize a call to violence. So I'm going to look it up a little bit more and maybe talk about it on the next show so that I can have enough information about it. But if you start to see a bunch of black flags around, probably go the other way. Just saying.
Well, no, yeah, they are saying they're calling it the race fist, but they're not saying it where it's racist or not.
Well, Yeah,
So I guess it's interpretation.
absolutely. Hey, we are actually now joined by Miss Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I had a meeting that I had to before I joined us.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I'm a
soon
little
as you
late.
heard the franchise was on, you sat there and started running and doing fixing yourself up and everything. You ain't even took a bath all day. I heard shower running and everything.
That is so not true.
I,
That is so not
I,
true.
I know what it
And
Oh
is.
my
I'm
She,
God.
al-
trying
she
to.
always liked my brother more than me anyway, so it's
Uh,
fine.
he's flown on for this for years, but I'm trying to get like you and the franchise and trying to boss up and get my coins together and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. And that's where I was on for my before on my call on one of my 3 jobs.
If you let me install that pole, you would need in coins.
I'm not doing that.
Anyway, before I get kicked out of the kids section. So anyway, um, how many of you guys have watched the Dave Chappelle special? Closing.
I have.
I have not.
When it,
You did, CJ?
I saw when it first with me, man, I was in the front TV like this. What do he got for me? What do he got for me?
Okay,
I was
okay.
ready.
And Jermaine has, Mike hasn't, and Lori I don't think has yet either.
Okay,
Okay.
delete both of their black cards. They out.
No.
Oh no. I can't. No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right, so but I'm sure you all have heard of that there's been a dust up in controversy because who would have thought Dave Chappelle would have said some controversial stuff?
Never.
I mean, you know,
Not from Ohio.
who thought that Dave Chappelle would not have said anything that would have offended a certain group of people? So, in other news, water is still wet. So, I just couldn't fathom, like, okay, what the hell did he say in this special that was different than damn near any other special that Dave Chappelle has ever done?
It ain't no different. No different.
Now I'm seeing where the LGBTQ community is up in arms. They want Netflix to take this off of their platform. They're trying to cancel Dave Chappelle.
Not happening.
And, you know,
Not happening.
we've talked about cancel culture before on the show. But, you know, this is one of those things that is not going to stop because, you know, last week we talked about canceling basically offensive team mascot names. Some things that are being canceled are canceled as a result of our culture is changing and shifting. Is our culture changing and shifting when it comes to our comedians? Are we now going to expect our comedians to be politically correct when satire and comedy was always about pushing those boundaries and everything else and using that as a platform to be able to say things in that arena that you probably wouldn't say in corporate America?
Exactly.
Is that if
point.
you go to so then my other question is, if you go to a Dave Chappelle show with the expectation that he is not going to offend a group of people, are you delusional or is Dave Chappelle wrong? And I'll let y'all go with that.
Who on it first? Because I got a lot to say.
Just take it. Pinto said, I got it.
Okay.
He says I'm black and white. So
I got so
I
much
have
to
to go
say.
check on him. I'll be right back.
No,
Okay.
like seriously, because I mean, you know, like since Big Brother, you know, has made his re-entry back on the show, I really wanted to hear what he had to say first. But seriously,
yeah, take it away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Number one, I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back. So let me answer a couple of your questions real quick, and I'll try to be because I want to give CJ his time. He's been holding down the show. I don't want the grandstand now. He's the franchise. So one of your questions is that comedy has traditionally been a place where people were able to say things that maybe they couldn't say anywhere else. And is that changed? Is our culture changed? And so I would answer this: yes, it has changed, and it should. Our comedy should be more responsible because you have to understand. A lot of things where we're talking about mascots,
Oh, we lost your sound.
Yep. Are we back?
Yep.
Sorry, someone's trying to call me. I'm important. The same thing with your mascots, right? Redskins, the term has always been offensive to Indians. It's just now the culture has recognized it and said, you know what, that probably is something that we shouldn't do. It's not that it was ever cool; it was just accepted. It's not that Andrew Dice Clay material was ever cool; it was accepted. He said a lot of things that he shouldn't say. Comedians say a lot of things they should not say and they should not get away with. And if you have any kind of platform, whether it's this show or it's Dave Chappelle and his comedy and stuff, you have to be responsible about the content and the things that you spread. And you have to accept the responsibility. It's so you can say whatever you want to, but there are consequences for the things you do. And you have to be mature enough to say that. Now, in the case of Dave Chappelle, I thought Dave Chappelle was funny. And if you actually listen, I think no one that's complaining about Dave Chappelle actually watched the whole show. I have a hard time believing that they actually watched the whole show or they've actually really listened intently to what he was saying in his previous shows and stuff. In fact, so we talked about John Gruden. And so it was okay that 10 years ago, he made racist comments. As soon as they dug up some more emails and he made homophobic comments, he was done, which was actually one of the points that Dave Chappelle made. One of the jokes that they talk about with the baby, where the baby, local rap artist from Charlotte,
shot somebody in a Walmart.
In self-defense, I wouldn't put that out there. In self-defense, baby, a guy ran up on him and his daughter in a Walmart. He shot and killed the guy in self-defense. It's Walmart. There's a million cameras. That's why he was in charge. But is trying to draw, and he's a comedian, right? So it's the punch. He's going for the punchline. All the stories he tells aren't completely 100% the way things went down. He tells them for the joke or whatever stuff. And so in the baby joke, he's comparing the baby was number one streaming artist. So he made some homophobic comments, and even Dave said like, "Hey, people call me homophobic," and I was like, "Damn, dog, I go hard to paint, but whoa." You're really going to get it.
Well, he also made the comparison that killing somebody didn't get him canceled, but as soon as he did that, it was over.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. For his point, that was the whole thing. That killing a man didn't have the same consequences on his career, which was zero, as making those remarks did. And if it was okay to kill somebody, but you couldn't offend gay people. And and then the whole John Gruden thing came up, and it was like, yeah, I mean, you can talk about niggas and stuff, but if you start talking about gay people, it's too much. What I will say about the whole situation is, again, I don't believe Dave Chappelle to be homophobic. He doesn't believe he's homophobic. Does he make jokes about it? Dave Chappelle said the N-word over 5,000 times, and again, exaggerating, but 5,000 times on the Chappelle show. He
and
said
never
the N-word.
nobody.
They actually offered him $50 million to do it some more. It's one of his jokes in his previous, when he was making a comparison and stuff, he was doing a skit for the Chappelle show, and he got called in for censorship because they didn't want him using this homophobic term and stuff. And he's like, okay, I get it. He's walking out. He says, hey, let me ask you a question. I say the N-word all the time. How come I can say that, but I can't say this? And they're like, well, you're black. He said, yeah, I'm black, but I'm not a nigger.
Exactly.
So you let me say that all the time. It lets me know what you think about me. It lets me know where we are in our society for placement and stuff. Do I think? And so the other thing too is that whole special was offensive. There was not a joke in there that he told that was not like when he said the closer, he meant like, yo, I'm gonna tell all these hard jokes and I'm out of here.
Right.
I mean, he told
like he ended it. He dropped the mic.
That's
all the jokes.
That's my point. You just said it. You just said my whole point. You just wrapped it up.
Everybody should be offended by that.
Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you.
Did either of y'all?
That was a beautiful bowl.
Did either of y'all think though that he did all of that to build up to the end where he talked about somebody that ended up becoming his friend that had committed suicide?
That's the thing. Okay.
And he kind of took you through a semi journey of his impressions of the LGBTQ community. He took you through his impressions of transsexuals.
He showed
Only to bring you to a point that, you know, because people started saying, "Hey, Dave, why are you punching down?" And that was his whole thing of punching down.
Right.
So he brought you to the example of his friend who ended up was the comedian that bombed on the stage and everything, and the relationship that they developed, and how it hurt him personally when this person committed suicide. Because and then he closes it by saying, you know, she wasn't one of you, she was one of us.
Right.
He had accepted him into the community, even though at the end he joked and said, you know, when he speaks to her kids, are gonna be like, "Hey, your father was a great woman." You know, that kind of, you know, he has to put some kind of a joke in there, and that was hilarious.
Great woman.
But yes, it almost seemed like he built it up to that. I was waiting for the thing though that was just really. If I would have said half that stuff, that would have looked like I went too far. But seeing where Dave has gone before, it's hard for me to say Dave went further than he's ever really gone. I just can't say that.
He actually kept it in the world of Dave Chappelle. Jermaine, you were all over. You wrapped it up beautifully. Because I was going to say a whole lot of other words, but I mean, I love the way that you summed it up for real. I mean, we're talking Dave Chappelle, guys. I mean, to me, he was no different than the artist that you brought up, Brian, at the beginning of this. Your Red Foxes, your George Lopez's, your people that and man, I forgot about Andrew Dice Clay, man. I mean,
Mooney.
That was their whole thing, was to say these shocking things. Richard Pryor. I mean, just said things that just blew your mind. Like, you actually said that out loud?
Well,
yes,
I think
I did.
I think that the difference is, and this is why Dave Chappelle is a masterful comedian, is that a lot of the topics that he goes into are topics nobody else can touch because they can't bring the punchline with it.
Right.
They can't.
And that's what makes them masterful.
It is a hard. So it's one thing when you have black comedians like Fox and Pryor who are talking about discrimination and racism and stuff, because that was something that they could talk about, right? We all understood that it was a real thing, and they were talking about it. And so the fact that they cussed, that wasn't it. The topics that they had with racism stuff, I mean, that was that time, that was the era, right? I mean, there was a movement going on about those things. They made those things. They brought the humanity back into those arenas through their comedy and stuff. Even though it may have been shocking in some of the way and the stories that they told and stuff, it wasn't outside of the box of the black experience or what they were talking about. Here you have a comedian who's talking about a group of society, a marginalized group, by the way, and he's making fun of them. And it's something that most people wouldn't even do because they're like, you know, it's almost like telling disabled jokes. Like, why would I tell a joke about somebody with cerebral palsy or somebody in a wheelchair or somebody, you know what I mean? You know, he's got a clipped palate. You know, why would I tell that joke? Like, that's like, those are off limits things. And Dave Chappelle goes into those places that people don't go to try to find the humor in it. One of the jokes that he told some time ago, and I'm not going to tell the whole joke and stuff, but at the end, he was talking to this woman, who's a trans woman and stuff, and they were sitting in the bar after one of the shows, just talking and chatting it up. And this is a story. I doubt it really happened because nobody's in the comedy club after it closes by themselves. So he's making the story up. But they have this dialogue and stuff, and the trans woman says to him, I saw that piece in the New York Times about you where they were giving him grief about R. Kelly. They said Dave Chappelle had told so many, and this was true, had told so many jokes about R. Kelly that he had normalized R. Kelly, and that's the reason that people viewed him in the favorable light that he did, because it was just a joke. And he's like, yeah. She said, well, I don't understand why they don't say the same thing about your trans jokes, because you tell those jokes with the same with that intent to normalize the conversation. Like, you're people too. It's sort of like when you have that new friend and stuff. It's like, hey, we're gonna heckle you too. You're part of the group, so we're gonna make fun of you too, because we're gonna bring you inside and stuff. and we're gonna let you know that you're not off. You're not off limits and stuff. We're gonna normalize you within our group and stuff. And so if I can laugh at Brian, then I can laugh at Laura, then I can laugh at CJ, and I can laugh at Mike. And that kind of thing. So I think Dave Chappelle has been really masterful in his approach and stuff. Only a Dave Chappelle joke can do it too, because Dave, you won't give everybody 7-8 minutes for a setup just for a punchline. It's Dave Chappelle. You'll wait 10 minutes for Dave to take it. I tried to tell a joke that was 10 minutes long. You leave me and be like, yeah, it's not going to be worth it. I don't care what it is. I'm not sitting along for it. So it takes a special person to be able to even get into those spaces, make the comparisons, and then get out on the other side.
Yeah.
And the last thing, what you talked about Daphne, which was the transgender person they was talking about, the specialist stuff. What I'll say is this, is that I like Dave Chappelle. I'm not transgender. I wasn't offended by the jokes and stuff. And we personally allow who's offended by what. If some people are offended by it, I grant them that. Because there's a lot of things out there that offend people that don't offend me because it's got nothing to do with me. I will allow you to be offended and stuff. The thing about I made a friend with a transgender person and it really hurt me because they died and stuff. Man, it kind of sounds like, I got a black friend.
Exactly.
And again, with John Gruden, how many black people shucked and jived for John Gruden over those damn emails? The racial ones. Oh, well, that's not what he meant. Rubber lips means people lying and stuff like that. John, stop.
No. And I don't want to jump in between them right now because we are going to go to Gruden. But the thing that kills me with people when they get caught sending out racist stuff is they all use the same quote. I don't know if they have the same publicist or what. But why do you always hear people say, I don't have one racist bone in my body? Well, I don't know if you got a racist bone, but I know your tongue pretty damn racist. So I don't know about your bones. I don't know about your bones. But I know your tongue. I know your tongue got some racist stuff going on. So, but you notice when people get called racist, that's the first thing they say. Or how even Trump said, "I'm the least racist person in this room." Now he never really said I'm not racist. He just said I'm the least.
I'm the least. Yeah.
Listen,
I'm only 85% racist. Listen over there. You should hear what he says when you.
Yeah, you really need to hear what he said. If you think I'm racist,
I know,
he makes
right?
monkey noises when you're up front.
Yo, listen, I got 3 black friends.
Yeah. or you know how many
the fact that you can put a number on the color of your friends.
Or if you know how many been in your house in the last 30 days. That means you've been counting. You've been counting. So, especially if you can count that fast. You've been counting.
So what I will say is that Dave Chappelle can be profoundly upsetting to groups of people. And in that special, he should have been profoundly upsetting to everyone on the planet.
Everybody.
Even the Jews, the space Jews.
Exactly. Because when he said that, I was like, wow.
He doubled, if not tripled down on that joke.
Wow.
And I was like, and every time it was like, wow, that is.
Did anybody say anything about Clifford, the big bad nigger?
Oh my God. That was another one. That was again. But you know what? See, he hit us like, okay, for us Dave Chappelle fans, he hit us with a couple of wows. Like we was expecting, I came in expecting like hearing like the nigga, the black, the white, all this stuff. But when he brought out Clifford, I was like, oh wow.
The big giant.
Wow. What I'll say is that your friendship with people doesn't mean that you're not homophobic. Doesn't mean that you don't have a problem with biracial children or integrated marriages and stuff. Doesn't mean that you're not racist. Doesn't mean that you're not sexist. Every man came from a woman, but there's consistently men that beat on women, that mistreat women and stuff, that have daughters and sisters and stuff. So those relationships don't exclude you from that. And so even in the way, and so I don't have a dog in the fight, so I can listen to the stuff and I can stand back and be objective. And as I'm saying, wow, that's harsh, I can also laugh and stuff because I can find the comedy in it. A lot of times sometimes if you're going through stuff, and believe me, those people are marginalized and in some cases hunted, some cases, abused, and people are really, really against that lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, especially trans. But as Dave was saying, it's like, hey man, y'all give me so much material to go after. I'm a comedian. I'm gonna go pick it up and I'm gonna get the material and stuff. But it doesn't mean that he's not offensive to those people. So if those people were upset, I go, hey man, I get it. I'm gonna watch it again a couple times just in case they do take it off Netflix because I want to laugh. But
hey, but listen, but as far as this cancel culture and everything else, what really stood out to me when it came to Dave Chappelle, I mean, it doesn't take a prophet nowadays to even figure out that as soon as you say something offensive, they're going to get after you. So as a part of his mastery that I appreciated it. I'm pretty sure that we all caught it. In a sense, he counseled himself. He had already told you as a part of his wrap up, he won't make another sensitive joke about LGBTQIA again
I
until
don't know
they
if I
can
believe him,
actually.
but I heard
Yeah, I
him
know. I had to put those other two letters on there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
of
don't know what they
course.
mean. Yeah, I don't know what they mean. But yeah, so they all, up in arms like how he was expecting, and he took it as a badge of honor. I've been following his storyline, and I've been following his supporters as well as his people that are like and the spokesman from Netflix told me, he was like, no, we try to monitor stuff like this all the time, and we are
Well,
not going to pull his show.
well, they're
We
not
are not
because
going to pull his show.
financially they've probably gotten so much attention from this that now more people are saying, "Hey, let me watch this and see what the big deal is." So
I mean,
sometimes when you do something like that, it has the reverse effect. I think probably since the controversy, if you want to call it that, more people have probably tuned into Netflix to watch the thing.
I will.
probably.
it's bruh, it well, the only place I'm going to disagree with my brother is Jermaine. I thought it was funny as hell, just simply because of like you said, the way that he is so masterful in taking you down so many roads, and you just he has you on the edge of your seat, being like, okay, now connect it all, and then when he does it, you're just like mind blown,
Well,
So
I would say this: all entertainment, whether you find it funny or not. Like I remember being in sixth grade and a guy fell down and I laughed. I thought it was funny, but he broke his arm. So depending on what side of the joke you're on, and so it's okay for you to find stuff funny. What I'm saying is that even though I may have laughed at it and I thought it was funny stuff, if people are offended by it, then who am I to say that you can't be offended? Because I come from a class of people who were told for years and hundreds of years they could not be offended. And when we talk about entertainment and stuff, they used to have public hangings of Negroes and stuff, and
As entertainment.
They brought their damn kids to watch, and that was the entertainment. And so what I say is that as we change and culture grows, and we're more respectful of other people and their feelings and stuff, understanding that while we may not live in glass houses, we may not live in glass bubbles and stuff, and people don't want to be so fragile and stuff, we do have to understand that we have consequences for our actions and stuff. He knew that it was going to be offensive, but he knew that from his first specials when he first started talking about it. In the second special, he was like, he addressed it in every special. Every special he came to
every last one of them.
They mad at me. They mad at me for what I said in my last special. Well, guess what I'm going to say in this special? They mad at me. And I do believe it when he says, hey, because what he said was the same thing that he said when he left the Chappelle show, is that I want to make sure we're laughing together. He felt like when he left the Chappelle show, there were too many people who were the in jokes and stuff. They were laughing at him and not with him.
Right.
And he's absolutely right. If there's anybody that can tell you how to, like we started the Me Too movement and stuff, it's somebody who walked away from $50 million. If there's anybody that could interject into the conversation about, what it is to give up or what it is to sacrifice or something, I mean, we all talk about Kaepernick and stuff, but let's remember Chappelle. Chappelle was gonna get paid more than Cap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He walked away from that money over his principal stuff. And what did they do? They called him crazy, said he was on drugs. Hollywood attacked him. They tore the man down. Remember, after he left Chappelle's show, he couldn't do anything for years on television.
He was blackballed severely.
He couldn't do anything. So if there's a group of people out there who have been talked about, who've been blackballed in society and stuff, and here's Dave Chappelle who's telling you, look, I'm just having fun and stuff. But at the end of the day, if this is too much for y'all, I mean, I've told all my jokes. This is the last closer. I'm closing out, and I'm not going to tell any more of these jokes until we come to some kind of accord where you understand that I'm not transphobic. I'm actually trying to bring some of your issues to light. And quite honestly, just like black people, where we got our issues and stuff, and he brings those out and normalizes them and says, hey, look, seriously, what's up with that? That's what comedy is. It's a commentary now.
I mean, and that's what I'm wondering, Jermaine and everybody else is, I go to comedy shows all the time, and the comedian will sit there and point out the only white person in the audience.
Yeah.
And go into a whole 10-minute thing about white people, about their tendencies, about stereotypes, how they all got good credit, how they're all named Brad or Bart or, some white name. And they'll go into that whole and nobody says anything. Or you'll see a comedian that'll go into a whole thing with a bunch of black people and start talking about how we all had a black grandmama that used to do this and do that and talk about those kind of things. Cultural stereotypes a lot of the time. So I'm like, I get that that's not the same as pointing out, different sexualities and everything like that. But it seems like we've normalized so many other things when it came to comedy that you just expect the comedian to say something that's going to offend people. When he made the Space Jews thing, I just knew damn well I was going to hear something about Jewish people talk. That one was, if you ask me,
that was hard.
That one was hard. That was harder than the mouth.
I agree with y'all. I really do, because I thought if anything that would be it.
Now the oil in the booty shorts, I ain't gonna lie, that was hilarious. Because his point was, hey, I'm not homophobic. I'm actually jealous of y'all because you overcome so much so quickly, and it took us over 400 years.
400 years, right?
And his joke was, as hell, maybe if slaves had started wearing some oil and booty shorts, we could have ended this thing a couple hundred years earlier.
I need you to go.
That was beautiful.
In your booty shorts,
boy. Yeah. When he did that, I was like,
Laura, you gotta watch it. Laura, you gotta watch it. Your face says it all. I don't want to.
Yeah, you look so lonely down there. I'm sorry, Laura.
I'm gonna tell all these jokes right now. We're gonna do it.
But so I understood going in that he was gonna say some things that may offend me. He's gonna say some things that may offend certain cultures. At the end of the day, I looked at it being more of a joke, not him just espousing his beliefs or something like that necessarily. But Dave Chappelle a lot of times does expose his beliefs, but he does it in a way that if you're not really, really listening from the beginning to the end, and you just cherry pick certain things that he says, then the context is going to change. So you have to make sure that if you watched it from minute 1, you got all the way through to minute 72.
It's hard, right? Because again, we're all around the same age group and stuff.
I'm 35.
Like 20 years. Lori's like 20 years younger than us, so she's the baby.
Well, look at her. Look like a Cheshire cat. Look at her.
Well, you just tell. You look at her. Look how young she looks.
God.
But we all grew up in a time when a lot of things were being said and thrown out there and stuff.
Yes.
And so even now, is the world's changing, and I've changed a little bit with the world. There's still some things. I'm with Dave Chappelle. I believe, like when he was backing up Jacob Rollins, that being a woman is a fact. Sexuality is a fact. I believe that. I believe that when people say, well, you know, sexuality is just a construct, no, it's not. Women have babies. Everybody got there through a woman. You know, now the impossible and beyond, boy, I had me rolling. Boy, talking about that's not blood, that's beet juice.
Oh, hilarious.
Oh
Gosh.
yeah. Look at Mike. What am I?
Y'all gotta watch it. Y'all gotta watch
Yeah.
it.
I'm going to watch it. I will watch it.
You will see.
Again, I will watch it myself. I was like,
Lori, I'm telling you, telling you, every 2 minutes, he gonna make your eyes stretch. He gonna make he gonna make you. You gonna be like,
I love Dave Chappelle. Love Dave Chappelle.
I'm accepting the people and their beliefs. If there's somebody out there, because quite honestly, if you believe yourself to be a woman so much that you're gonna cut your stuff off for it, you believe in something I've never believed in that hard. I've never believed in anything that hard. Nothing. I've never had a conviction that hard about nothing.
Or in that instance, soft. But I digress.
So I have no choice but to believe.
That was a good.
You know,
that was a good.
As you said,
that was a good shot.
That was a good shot. People having human experiences and stuff, right? I believe that. However, at the same time and stuff, I do believe that women are women. I'm not saying that a trans woman can't be a woman, but she's not an original woman. I mean, I can take a Ford, put a BMW sticker on it, and make it a BMW. I guess it's a car. I mean, I don't know. How does that work? I don't know. I'm a 45-year-old man. I'm married. I ain't got time for this shit. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I'm not going to stop you. Whatever you want to do, dude. Look,
I'm looking for a microphone. That's what I'm looking for.
I was easy. Like when they said,
he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back.
I'm like, yes, of course gay people should get married. Everybody should have a chance to be miserable. Why is it just straight people that are miserable? Let them motherfuckers get married and lose half their shit. Hell yes, that's cool. I want that too. Should they be adopt children? Sure, let them deal with these damn road crumb snatchers. They should have everything afforded to them. I don't care. But like Dave said, don't take away from other people just to accommodate your shit. Is that fair?
No.
You know, it's not, right? Like
it's not fair. And you shouldn't cherry pick certain things that you only hear that is offensive.
Exactly.
There's lots of things. And I think in general, even though I haven't watched the special.
All right. Mr. Brad Coffin says we'll watch because of the controversy, but to me, his stand-up has never been funny. So I don't expect to laugh. His skits are funny as hell, but not his stand-up. Okay.
And if you don't like Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle has a very dry, calculated, I'm gonna walk you. His setup is like, again, Dave Chappelle's the only one that can do Dave Chappelle's setup. No one can tell you a story for 7 minutes without have told you 2 or 3 jokes.
There's another comic. There's another comic who does that. I think his name is Jermaine. It's Jermaine. But he has a very dry, not you. It's another Jermaine. It's another one. But he has a very dry delivery. And he walks you through a story. And it's like at first, as you're watching it, but like he's really, really funny. I have to find his name, but his name is Jermaine. Yeah. And he actually has that same delivery where it's just very dry, but he's walking you through and telling you things and story as that's offensive, huh?
He's a very young guy.
Yes, he is a young guy. He is a young guy. He's very skinny. I think he's from North Carolina.
I have seen his material, and yes, he is funny. He is funny.
He's not as svelte as you, Jermaine, but
I'm not skinny. I'm trying to get skinny.
I'm no Jermaine, like this dude is like scary skinny. Like if the wind blow real hard, he'll just disappear.
I don't know. I might go for that too. I'm trying to be skinny like the skinny jeans on a 17-year-old, below ankle.
Lori, I don't know if you remember, we went to go see Michael Blackson, what?
Yes, we did.
A month and a half ago.
Sucker. You mother sucker.
Yeah, that's all he says. You'll beat you, beat nigga. He said, and he does all that, right? At the end of his show, he did this bit where he started joking about, he said he was one of the original kids in the Save the Children ads.
Yes.
And not only did he say that,
Wow.
and he took off his shirt,
Yes, he
made
did.
his belly get big.
Took
They
off his
played,
shirt and did the
they
sound.
played the music, and he walked around the audience asking for money like this and stuff.
Oh,
And you know, they had the
my
music
God.
playing, and he kept
Sally
making all the
Struthers.
little.
Sally Struthers Save the Children.
He was doing it, and I mean, the entire place was laughing except for the two people that were sitting with us who happened to be Somalian.
Yes, because he was talking, because since he's African, yes.
Yeah. So as much as
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, man, that's probably kind of a hard one, because you know they're looking at him going, and I remember when I'm just kind of looking and said, oh man, that's not funny. But it was, but I understand why he didn't think it was. And that kind of put us in a funny position, because I'm just like, oh my God, it's hilarious because of my lived experience. It may not be hilarious because of their lived experience.
Look, when they used to when slaves used to run off the plantation, they catch one and they might maim one and stuff. White people thought it was funny. I mean, it's really, what side of the joke are you on? And that's why I say in today's society, I believe that we do have a responsibility, whether it's jokes, whether it's media and stuff. You know, Netflix has kind of doubled down with their support for Dave Chappelle, and they basically said it's Netflix. You can watch violence and all kind of stuff, or you can watch shocking comedy. It's your choice, but you don't have to watch it. And we understand that it's there, but to say, like, I don't watch scary movies. They're available to me. I don't find them entertaining. I'm a black man. My life is a scary movie. I don't need no more. I don't need no more.
Jermaine, it's okay. We here to support you.
Well, when we
No,
just say
I don't. No, I'm gonna say no. There's no need for that.
Hey, right here. But I don't want it.
I don't want nobody into scary
Jermaine, I get you. I get you.
Ridiculous.
I get you. I got ex-wives, so I've already seen the devil.
Yeah, like what scary do I need to go through?
I'm here for you and my sister.
No, y'all keep your movies. Keep them.
No.
Hey, I'm heavily armed. Y'all don't want me paranoid.
Yeah. Listen, I've already divorced the devil, so you know, let's move on.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, but any kind of platform stuff. That's why I like the whole Cardi B thing when she was talking about her cousin's friend's balls.
No, you mean Nicki Minaj?
No, I'm sorry. Thank you, Nicki Minaj. I don't know. So.
Yeah, don't say nothing about my Cardi now.
Yeah, they're gonna say Jermaine has a problem with women. I don't know these bitches.
I call you bitch because I don't know your name.
Yeah, it's a joke, but yeah, Nicki Minaj. The whole thing was where's she from? Barbados? Was that
no? She's from Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad. The public health minister from Trinidad had to address her comments because of her platform.
Yeah.
If I had tweeted that, 5 people would have saw it and no one would have left a comment or like. I know because I'm on my Twitter daily and I say all kinds of stuff. Lori likes my stuff. Thank you, Lori. But the thing is that if you have a big enough platform, which Dave has, then there is some responsibility. I think the thing that people are missing, the reason I said at the top of the show that I don't think people watched the whole thing through that were offended by it is that Dave was walking you down a path. And at the end, he was trying to explain to you, if you had been paying attention to me, you would understand that I'm not the person that the people say I am. Here's some examples of that. I'm still going to make jokes about it. At the end of the day, I'm not going to make any more jokes on this subject because I do have this platform and I do want everybody to be laughing with me and stuff. But again, Michael Blackson, who's an African, made a joke about Africa. You had African friends there who said, that's not funny. The kid that fell down and broke his arm, it wasn't funny. I laughed. It depends on what side of the joke you're on.
Yep.
And what you're trying to cherry pick, or if you align with that you feel is offensive, because there's everything in life in our lives there, it's going to offend somebody. This is the same thing that we're going through with vaccines and this and that. It's going somebody's going to be offended by something in everything.
Well, I work for a company, and I think we all do. And if a leader in our company said half of the stuff that Dave Chappelle said, they would be out on
but the
tail.
venue, it's where now
Exactly.
he has to accept responsibility,
Exactly.
but it's in the venue that it is. It's not like he said this during a board meeting or for that. Then I could then that's something different. But in the venue where he was, it's
okay.
It was appropriate. It was appropriate. It was appropriate.
Like in context, right? It was in context, right?
It was in context based on the
everything
where he was.
Everything
it's
has
not
its
like
place.
Everything has its place. It's in context, yes.
All right. So let's keep that same energy, as the young folks like to say, and take that venue to John Gruden, who sent out a bunch of emails before he became the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, losing his job.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
Now, there's a lot. Now, like with a lot of things that we talk about, it's like an onion, right? There's a lot of different layers that you can pull back from on this. First and foremost, before I get into that, I want to acknowledge that my man Anthony Price said, first and foremost, that the franchise is over here speaking facts. And then he also came back and said, what you call scary movies now are not mostly that scary. Absolutely true. They actually fall more into what I call the gory category. When the Saw movies came out, it wasn't scary, even though they called it horror. It was just, I'm going to just chop your ass up movies. And it had nothing to do with being scary as much as it was, I'm going to see how much blood and guts you're going to be able to take over the next hour and a half.
Right.
It had nothing to do with them playing that music and then somebody creeping up on you and something like that.
Fair.
He said, Anthony says, I'm waiting for John to start snitching and calling out names. I'm going to get into that because I agree with you, Anthony. And that's exactly where I was going with that. So the first layer was, again, he said some things he had no business saying. And like Dave Chappelle, he basically did the whole thing. He did the closer. Right. I don't know who he didn't offend. He offended the LGBT community. He offended women. He offended black folk. Only people he didn't offend was straight white people. Everybody else he offended.
Well, I would say that he offended because they've got black friends.
Well, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Offense by proximity.
Exactly.
I think John Gruden is a typical. How old is he? 50-something years old.
Yeah,
50-something.
Like we've been trained enough, and if you've worked in any kind of corporate job or any kind of government job, or just if you've worked for somebody with more than 100 employees, you've got some kind of training that says these are the things that we will not accept, are not acceptable anymore. Some kind of EEO training and stuff. And John Gruden's had his training too, but he was emailing his boy, and it's different. Like the shit that I talk to my wife versus what I'll say on this show versus what I won't say at my job. I mean, that's different layers to this.
Just
stuff,
like
right?
white folks might sit there and listen to Snoop at home, and when the N-word come up, they just keep rolling right through the song with it. But they're not going to do that at Chopper's Club down the street.
I got a friend of mine. He's a white guy. He did factory work and stuff, and he told me the story about the guys at the job who would come up to him, who would try to recruit him to come to Klan meetings, who said all kind of stuff about black people stuff. What they didn't understand was he was married to a black woman, had black kids. You don't always know who you're talking to,
right?
So there's different layers out there. So there are people at your job who have these conversations, who want the white guy to come to the Klan meeting, who are saying the N-word, who are planning all this stuff. But when you see them, hey Brian, how you doing? It is what it is. John Gruden got caught talking that backstop shit out loud. Hey, PSA, don't write it down.
Jermaine,
don't hit send.
Now I got hey fellas, I got a question. Would that be the white man's version of code switching? He just got caught code switching.
Yes, he did. Yes, very good. Yes, right there, brother.
That's why I'm not surprised. No,
They
had their own language. They had their own language. That's how I looked at it.
So CJ, to go where you're going though, how unreasonable would it be to believe that if John Gruden, most people know, number one, hey, even Donald Trump knows this, and I ain't bringing him up. He's notorious for never emailing anything because then you can't say he actually said it.
Yeah, he got that.
But if I feel so comfortable to send you an email or emails like that to you, there has to be something inside of me that makes me believe that you're going to be okay with what it is that I'm saying to you.
So that's the thing, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was cold switching.
But who is he talking to is the thing that we're not talking about.
And that's what we really want to know. You know what? I know who it was. And so
it
was Jerry. It was Jerry.
They've been reporting, hey, we send emails to
it was Jerry.
NFL. Y'all need to check out Jerry Jones' emails, is all I'm trying to say.
That's what's going to happen. It's like pulling that yarn.
But Jerry Jones actually made a statement and to say on after this came out that he didn't
throw you off.
That it was just something that was found. Like he made this wishy-washy statement about it. Not
to
really
throw
you off his trail because he know he in that email.
Listen. John Gruden is going to end up being the fall guy, but if they decide to go further and further and actually address the fact that who was he talking to, they got to stop because if they don't.
This is the reason that when Cap sued them, they went ahead and paid Cap because they didn't want to go through a discovery process or where Kaepernick was able to request emails and transcripts and stuff and prove it. They knew if we open up this can of worms, man, take this money, get out of here.
Right. That's why they paid him. You're right.
The reason he quit, they came to him and said, hey, you got to go. It's not like he's not going to get money. He's not, none of these guys. What was the name of the Clippers owner that had to sell his team because he got caught saying that racist stuff?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I remember him.
I can't think of his name, but I know Ballmer took the team over, but
that's the Lakers. That's the Boss family. But I know because of that controversy. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, you were talking about Donald Sterling.
His penalty was getting multi-million dollars for the sale of his team. That was his penalty. Nobody that gets penalized for this stuff is suffering.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so Gruden's deal was take the fall because if they start asking questions about who you were talking to, all this shit's going to unravel.
But I think it still is going to, even though they may put him off. But
they won't.
I think
it's too much money. It's too much money.
The cheerleaders in the NFLPA is pushing for more for the rest of these emails to be released.
Yes,
but I agree. If that happens, John Gruden is just going to be one of the many.
Of course, absolutely.
They're going to have to sue for it. They're not going to give it up. If they want
they won't give it up. But there will be someone who's going to push for it and keep going. But someone's going to sit here and do that for that. So I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the rest to come out and with all of the start of looking at things.
See, what I'm saying to y'all is
I was joking when I said Jerry Jones, but in a way I'm serious as hell because it's going to end up being statement. It was and see he drew attention to himself. But again, this is probably going to get so big because how many owners do we have?
Patriots.
32. Well, there's 32 teams. There's 32 teams.
Right. So 32 owners. And like y'all remember whenever Colin Kaepernick first did the nail, they politicized the hell out of it and everything. I think it was only just a handful of owners that didn't take the bait. So that's how many people that, in my mind's eye, potentially, that's pretty much what it would look like when it comes to these emails and stuff.
I'm telling you right now, and Anthony, you're right. Anthony said, we all know Jerry Jones is protecting. He's not going anywhere. You're right on that. He said they leaked all the emails. We won't have an NFL season. If they went to your job, and I don't care where you work, this is Jermaine telling everybody, if they went to your job and they went through everybody's emails and DMs and personal statements and family texts, group chats and stuff, everybody would lose their fucking damn job.
Exactly.
Exactly. No one, as much as this may be a thing, it's not a thing because it's a thing. Does that make any sense? It can't be a thing because it's prevalent through everything and stuff. It's like air. It's like making air thing. Like, is the air in your house deadly? Well, fuck, I hope not, because it's around me. I can't get away from it. And that's what racism is. And so the NFL season would be canceled if we went through that. And if they cancel the season and the players don't make any money, they're going to stop. You know,
this is a over $1 billion industry.
Yeah, they can't.
It's too much money. It's too much money.
You can't take down. You can't take down the NFL because then what do I do on Sunday? Talk to my family? I'm not going back. I'm not going back. You can't make me.
But you need to talk to your family. They love you. And they love you.
I refuse.
That's funny.
I will get out there and start my own damn league. I'll be at damn Panther Stadium running routes and shit before I go back to that bullshit.
Hey, I'm out there with you. I'll throw you the ball. I still got a lot left in the arm. I can do it. Or my mind thinks so. Why are you looking at me like that, Lord?
Like, man.
I love you, girls. I love you. Sorry.
But see, you know what? But see, here's the thing, though. Because, like, let's just talk about his quote-unquote apology, right? His apology that wasn't even an apology. He just said, I'm sorry if I hurt you.
Yeah.
To me, I respect it.
No, he didn't say that. He said I never meant to hurt anyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, he didn't even say that. That would have been better than what he said.
Like, in other words, I didn't mean for you to hear that. It's kind of like me apologizing to my kids. Like whenever I really do mean to pop they behind.
He didn't mean to hurt nobody. He didn't mean to hurt nobody from the standpoint that I sent it to somebody that I intended it to stay between me and them. And it would have, had not been for an investigation that was totally separate.
You would not have ever known.
They weren't investigating Gruden. He just got caught in the hairs.
I said the same thing to my girlfriend when she found me with my other girlfriend. I never meant to hurt nobody. There was something I was trying to keep over here between me and her. You would even supposed to know nothing about all of this.
Right.
And
had things worked out the way they're supposed to, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
We'd all be happy right now.
Everybody be happy. You still think I'm the greatest dude? And my other girl would too.
That's right.
Lori, you're not laughing. That was a hell of a joke.
We all would just be smooth sailing.
It's all jokes.
Lori,
but you know what?
Tell jokes and I can't.
But my point
is, no. Remember, you were funny. You a funny guy. Funny guy. Funny.
But my point is that I respected even that, because here's the thing. We expect for people to just break down and put on this whole, like, I call it like this Jimmy Swaggart like apology. And I don't know if y'all can recall what he did or who he was, but when he got caught up in his his sin, you know, I mean, he was crying crying.
Yeah.
And he was just like, forgive me, you know. And that's what that it seemed like that they was trying to get this coach to do. He was just like, all right, okay, I'm called.
Well, listen. Right. I'm gonna tie what Anthony is saying too about. He said he just said John is gonna snitch because he lost everything. Ring of Honor got cut from Madden. Yeah, Tampa Bay cut him from the Ring of Honor.
Really?
Cut him out of Madden 22. Huh?
Hey, as a side note, he should have never been in there. That should have been Tony Dungy. He stole Tony Dungy's team. That's not his goddamn ring. No. How about that?
How about that? So, but now looking at the way that things come out nowadays, Are we going to be
Tony.
surprised in a year or year and a half when John Gruden drops his Tell It All book and starts naming names?
It's
I
gonna
won't-
be
I
in the
won't be
book though.
surprised.
I'll
Hey,
be the
you
first one
remember-
to buy it.
You know the book is coming.
Oh yeah, it's definitely he just got his endorsement.
But
He just got his
look,
endorsement money.
look,
And John,
I mean,
if you're listening, and I know you are, when you do drop that book, please come to Head, and we'll talk to you about the book.
yeah, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you.
We love to talk to you.
I
And
love
we'll
you.
bring and John, we'll have some cheerleaders and some Michelin
Wow.
tires here on set.
Wow. Wow. Hey, when Marv Albert, who was an NBA commentator, got caught for
Yes.
all kind of freaky
Sodomy,
shit.
yeah. Some mighty
Yep.
shit.
Yeah. Hey, look, I don't judge people about that kind of shit. But known to do some shit myself. But what?
Yes, you have.
I have. But he waited.
Why are you co-signing that?
He went off. He was there.
See,
I don't want to get into details, Lord, but it was head to head.
Oh.
PMI.
Oh.
PMI.
Oh.
So all of these crazy stories that I've heard.
No, I'm not co-signing anything. What
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no,
If John-
your brother
if John
started
Gruden-
the
if John
stories.
Gruden will
He's
sit
with the
down
legend.
in the penalty
It's the
box-
legend.
Yeah, it's a legend. If John Gruden will sit down in the penalty box, there's almost nothing that a straight white man can't be forgiven for, because all he has to do if he'll just go to Brooklyn and pick up some nigger babies and put them back down and stuff, he'll reform his image and stuff. So John called me. I know how to get it done. We'll have you back in the graces in no time. Black Twitter, they put their arms around you. I got you, brother.
But it depends
it's
on
not
what
hard.
part of Brooklyn he's going to.
It's not hard.
Because he
Nino Brown
needs
passed out
to go to
turkeys
the
doing
gentrified
Thanksgiving.
side. Maybe so.
I'm just saying, Nino Brown passed out turkeys during Thanksgiving and stuff. And even though he was killing people and selling drugs and tearing down the community and stuff, everybody came and got their turkey. John, just get with me. We'll get the bins and we'll pass out turkeys in the hood, and you should be good.
So John needs to pull Nino Brown and all will be okay.
Yeah, because he already pulled Nino Brown with his mouth. He might as well do something with his hands.
All right, Nino Brown it is. Nino Brown it is. Well, like I said, the biggest thing is that's going to happen. I'm sorry, we got a comment. Let me see who's the way this world is. He'll have a job next year, but not in the NFL. I don't know if that's even true anymore. You think that's true?
Oh yeah, why not?
You think he's still marketable?
His ass will go straight to Canada. He'll go straight to Canada,
right? He has a PR. No, he'll be back on TV.
Yes, he'll be on TV. He'll be a commentator or something, an analyst, something. He's gonna be back.
Something. College games, whatever stuff. He's absolutely right. That's what I was alluding to.
He can actually work for FanDuel.
Yeah.
Betting games. There we go.
All he has to do is be reformed. All he has to do is be reformed.
Because he already apologized, right?
He already apologized. And
just like
you got to understand when he apologized and you're going, man, that's a shitty apology. If you've ever been in an accident and you called your insurance company, what they'll tell you is don't apologize for anything.
Because you're admitting guilt.
You're admitting guilt. Don't apologize for anything. His apology was crafted by lawyers. Say this, because when they won't have you on tape admitting to anything later on.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
And so when they say next year, yeah, easily next year. Maybe not in the NFL, but it could be. He might be doing sideline reporting, working his way back in.
Is he going to be back with Tony and they doing their Corona commercials?
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Just like me, the franchise is back. John Gruden will be back.
Oh yeah.
I put that on all my sponsorships.
You heard it there, folks. John Gruden will be back at some point. And that says a lot more about us. We're always at society of second chances and third chances. and things like that. So that'll be real interesting to see. And it's going to be real interesting to see if the NFL PA and the cheerleaders from the Washington football team are actually able to get the rest of those documents out. If they do, it's just going to be it's going to be crazy. It really is. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens with that. But yeah, any final thoughts, y'all?
Oh, bro, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting because I'm pretty sure that this is not over. I mean, you still gonna they have this coalition that I didn't even know that existed. This national Black Justice Coalition League. They had joined in with the LGBTQIA, and they still trying to fight and stuff. So I mean, but so far, it's what. But I always have been a Dave Chappelle fan, and I'm looking forward to this one actually being a win for Dave Chappelle.
Lolo,
I gotta go watch it, and also a couple
got
other things. I gotta watch it.
all right, JP,
Yo,
final thoughts. What you thinking?
man, final thoughts. I'm glad to be back. Really and truly, I've missed this. I enjoy it so much. My final thoughts on whether it be Dave Chappelle or John Gruden and stuff. Everything in context, right? Context. Your expectations and stuff are based on that and how you live your life and stuff. So if you're at a comedy show, expect to hear jokes. If you're at work and stuff, expect people to be professional. We've got two people. One did it right, one did it wrong. And so as you move forward in your life, make sure that you're the one doing it right. Remember where you are, remember your words, and your actions have consequences.
So my final thought is this. We talk a lot about cancel culture and everything else and how different things offend people and the outrage and everything else. And people are ready to move on from you and things like that. And because I deal with a lot of politics on this show, I'm going to bring it right back around to politics. The best cancel that you can do is if stuff like this offends you, but watching politicians make $174,000 a year while they don't do a damn thing to improve your lives, then you're focusing on the wrong thing. I'm sure Mitch McConnell wants you talking about Dave Chappelle. I'm sure Kevin McCarthy wants you talking about John Gruden. You know why? Because then you ain't paying attention to what they're not doing for you and the impact that they make in your life. We're talking about entertainers failing as entertainers when they're talking about canceling the baby for comments he made that was stupid. We're focusing on things that do not have anything to do with child tax credits, crumbling infrastructure, energy equality. We're not talking about those things because we're dealing with memes and Twitter feeds and all these other social media things that at the end of the day don't mean anything, that are not going to bring any quality to our lives. If you want to work on cancel culture, cancel some of these bums. Chuck Grassley's old 80-something-year-old ass wanting to run for another term and be 90-something years old in the Senate. And I'm not doing the ageism. Don't hit me with that. Miss me with that. My point is that he has already done 6 terms in the Senate. He's trying to go for a 7th. They go for 6 years. That would be over 40 years in the Senate. Are they working for us or are they working for their owner donors? Ask those questions. And if you come to the right conclusion, your vote is your way of canceling that culture. You heard? Now, that's all I'm going to say on that. We're going to wrap it up just like that. I don't have a mic to drop, but y'all get the point. I'd like to thank my panel for tuning in this week. This is always head to head, and now you may even know why. But I am your host, Brian Parker, and we will be back next week. Thanks, panel, for y'all coming in. We will see y'all next time. Peace.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta